Another highlight, some would say the highlight of this year, was the release of the living hostages, among whom was Eli Sharabi, who was held captive in Gaza for 491 harrowing days. Our Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl interviewed him about his ordeal, which began when 10 terrorists invaded his home in Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th. You can see his interview in its entirety on the CBN YouTube page. But here's an excerpt from his inspiring conversation with Julie.
On February 8, 2025, Eli was released in a televised ceremony. Weighing less than 100 pounds, he was initially reunited with his mother and sister. That's when he learned the terrorists had murdered his wife and 2 daughters on October 7th and kidnapped and killed his brother Yossi and held his body in captivity.
Still people there after more than 700 days. One of them is my brother, and I'm lucky to have Liane for 28 years. I'm lucky to have my daughters for 16 and 13 years. I was very lucky to live in the same kibbutz with my brother and have a great life with him. And I'm so lucky that I had my family that fought for me for 500 days.
Eli says it wouldn't be right to let grief overtake him after all the efforts made to free him.
First of all, I love life. For me, I got a second chance. Despite the very, very difficult messages I got on the day of my release about Yossi, about Liane, Noya, and Yahel, it's tremendous loss for me. But I needed to choose if to let the grief and the loss to bury me, to wrap me, or to find a way to move on.
Shortly after Eli's release, he wrote a book about his experience. His book, called Hostage, is the first from a hostage about what happened. It's a bestseller in Hebrew and now is translated into English and on the way to other languages.
It was a very therapeutic process for me, and I felt this testimony should be heard and should be written for the history of Israel, for my history.
Despite the treatment he received, Eli wants people to take something positive from his book.
The main thing is appreciation for basic things in your life, because when you lose your freedom, you understand freedom, it's priceless. To wake up and to be able to choose when to go to the bathroom, to the shower, to open the fridge, and what to take from there.
Eli is using his voice and experience to let world leaders know what really happened.
Places like to be in UN, to make a speech there in Security Council for 20 minutes and give them all the facts that I've seen in my eyes, in Gaza, in the tunnels. It was very, very meaningful for me.
Maybe most important is that he's not dealing with negative emotions.
I'm not bitter, words like sadness and anger. It's not something I'm dealing with day by day, because I feel that these emotions and feelings can hold me back, and I just want to move forward and to rebuild my life. And I think this is the best way my wife and my daughters and my brother, that his body is still held by Hamas, will be proud of me.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Israel.